Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into robotics, something that often feels a bit sci-fi, but it's getting really close to our everyday lives. We've got some fascinating insights from a recent lecture by Han Dong-jin, who heads up Hyundai Motors Robotics Lab. And our mission today really is to unpack Hyundai's big vision for robotics. How are they planning to make these amazing machines not just super advanced, but actually accessible, part of your daily routine?
Yeah, and what's really interesting here is the shift in thinking. It's not just about building the most complex robot anymore. It's about practicality, affordability, getting them out there for widespread use. This lecture he gave July 17th, 2025 at that Hank Young Association CEO Forum, it really hammered home that balance.
Okay, let's get right into that core idea then. Han Dong-jin's message was pretty clear. Robotics needs to be, quote, useful technology at an affordable price. Not just good, but expensive technology. That feels like a pretty major change in direction. What's that actually mean for you listening, and for robotics generally? Especially thinking about past efforts we've seen.
Well, connecting it to the bigger picture, it's absolutely crucial. I mean, for the whole field to grow sustainably. Huntington specifically mentioned robots like Honda's Asimo or SoftBank's Pepper. Remember
Oh
those?
yeah, definitely impressive pieces of tech.
Totally. But as he pointed out, they didn't really make it to mass production, did they? Weren't profitable. They were exactly that. Unconditionally good, expensive technology, but unsustainable because, well, they couldn't make money. So it's not just a slight change. It's rethinking everything from, supply chains to design right from the start to build in that profitability. That's the challenge.
Right. Shifting from just wowing people to actually being useful day to day.
Mm-hmm.
But that's easier said than done, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What are the big hurdles in actually making that pivot happen, especially when you've already sunk costs into really high-end tech?
You hit the nail on the head. It's a massive shift. Moving from a showcase mindset to a solution one. It means things like prioritizing designs that last, not just flashy features, streamlining production to cut costs, building out service networks. But Han Dong-jin seemed pretty confident. He said the day isn't far off for useful technology at an affordable price, which points to a future where robots are, doing deliveries, managing buildings, maybe even helping out at home. It's about a business model built on utility.
Okay, so it's not just talk.
Mm-hmm.
Hyundai is actually building things that embody this useful and affordable idea. Let's look at some examples you mentioned. First one up, the expellable shoulder. What exactly is this, and how does it fit the vision?
Right, the expellable shoulder. It's a wearable robot. You wear it, well, on your shoulder, obviously. It's designed for workers specifically to help prevent musculoskeletal disorders, which are a huge issue in many industries, right? Costly, too. And it's significant because it's the first mass-produced item from their Excable brand. Shows they're serious.
Okay, wearable robot for workers. Where's it being used now?
And they started rolling it out in Hyundai's own factories back in June. And then sales to the wider market kicked off just this month in July. So that's a pretty fast turnaround from internal use to actual product sales. Kind of highlights this new approach.
That is quick. What's next for it? You mentioned something about grade 3 approval.
Yeah, he touched on that. Right now, it's a grade 2 medical device. So moderate risk, specific uses, but the plan is to get it approved as grade 3. That would open it up to a much wider group. Critically, people like stroke patients for rehabilitation. That really broadens the potential market and, the impact it could have, moving beyond just industry.
Interesting. Okay, then he talked about something called a wheeled-legged robot. That sounds like a hybrid. What's revolutionary about that combination? What problems does it solve?
It's a really neat concept, actually. It combines 4 legs, but each leg also has wheels. And Han Dong-jin made this interesting point from an engineering perspective. Wheels are super energy efficient. It's like the one thing animals didn't evolve, right?
Never thought of it that way.
So, by putting wheels and legs together, these robots can cruise efficiently on flat ground, like a normal wheeled robot. But then, when they hit rough terrain, steps, obstacles, stuff where wheels would just get stuck, they can use the legs to navigate.
So it really does try to cover all the bases then. Flat surfaces and tricky spots.
Pretty much. Are there places it still couldn't go? Sure, maybe extreme stuff like deep mud or very steep climbs, but the goal is to massively expand the practical areas where robots can work. Think about spaces that needed either wheels or legs before. Now, potentially, one robot could handle both. It's about expanding the service range a lot.
Right, making them more versatile in the real world. And speaking of versatility, there was another one, Mobead. What's the story with that?
Mobead, yeah. Stands for Mobile Eccentric Droid. This is apparently their second mass-produced product, and it's due out around December. It's described as a small mobility platform, kind of flat, rectangular body, four wheels. Multi-purpose is the key idea here.
Multi-purpose how? What kind of things are they thinking Mobi could do?
Well, Hyundai Jin painted a picture of it doing all sorts of things in customers' daily lives. Could be anything from, say, carrying your shopping autonomously,
Right.
helping with deliveries in busy areas, maybe acting as a moving display stand, or even a personal mobility assistance device. It seems like it's designed as a core platform they can adapt. They're doing a lot of testing now in the lab quality, noise levels, autonomous driving features to get it ready for launch.
Okay, so with all this development,
Mm-hmm.
where does Hyundai, and maybe South Korea more broadly, actually fit into the global picture, especially when you compare it to, say, China? We see a lot of flashy robot videos coming from there.
Yeah, he tackled that head on, said point blank that Korean robot tech is not inferior to China's. He acknowledged those videos, the ones with quadrupeds doing backflips and things.
Yeah, those are pretty eye-catching.
They are. But he argued that doesn't automatically mean higher technical ability in the core stuff. What it might suggest, he thought, is that the basic software frameworks for controlling movement are just becoming more common, more accessible everywhere.
Okay, so flashy moves don't equal fundamental advantage.
Yeah.
Did he offer any, proof for that?
He did give an example. He said Hyundai could actually take the software off a Chinese robot, put their own AI onto it, and make it do the same complex things like a handstand, even though the hardware wasn't identical,
Wow, okay.
which really led to his main point. What's the real core technology here?
So what is it then, according to him, if it's not just the physical robot?
Artificial intelligence, AI. That, he stressed, is the core tech in robotics today. That's where the competitive edge truly lies. It shifts the whole game, doesn't it? It's not just about building the machine. It's about the intelligence, the algorithms, the adaptability in the machine. The IP is often in the code.
Got it. So if AI is the key differentiator, how is Hyundai's robotics lab actually focusing its efforts? What are their strategic priorities now?
They're zeroing in on three main areas. First, those purpose-specific wearable robots, like the Exable we talked about. Second, robot arms, but specifically designed for what they call unstructured environments, places that are unpredictable, messy, not like a neat factory floor. That's a big challenge. And third, context-based conversational AI, making human-robot interaction feel more natural, more intuitive.
Okay, specific wearables, adaptable arms, better conversation. What's the big picture goal for Hyundai with all this? What do they want to be?
He put it quite ambitiously. They aim to be a world-class mobility company, but specifically in the area of autonomous driving robots. So their development focuses on things like expandability, making designs modular, adaptable, operating time, longer battery life, basically, lightweighting, making them easier to handle, more efficient, and tech integration, pulling all these systems together smoothly. And the ultimate goal, he said, is providing automated mobility services tailored to what users actually need.
That user-tailored part, the user focus.
Yeah.
That sounds good, but how does that play out in practice? How does focusing on safety and reliability from the user's perspective change how you design a robot compared to just aiming for top technical specs?
That's a great question. Think about maybe a delivery robot again. If you only care about tech specs, you might push for maximum speed, right? Or maximum carrying weight. But if you prioritize user safety and reliability, well, you'd build in much better obstacle avoidance. Maybe make it move slower and more predictably in crowded areas. Perhaps design grippers that handle packages more gently. You see, Hyundai was explicit. That user viewpoint comes before just maximizing raw performance numbers. And that's really critical if you want people to actually accept and use these things widely.
Right, it's not just, can the robot do the task, but can it do it safely, reliably, and fit into our world without causing problems? Makes you think about how many cool technologies just faded away because they couldn't cross that bridge into practical everyday use.
Exactly that. He really emphasized that for this whole useful technology at an affordable price idea to work long term, companies have to think hard about quality control, maintenance, after-sales support, all those less glamorous things. That's what builds trust. That's what makes it sustainable for the user, not just the flashy launch.
So this deep dive really shows a robotics field that's maybe maturing, moving past just the lab experiments and focusing on real-world products for everyday tasks. Hyundai's vision, laid out by Hyundai Jin, it's a strong reminder, isn't it? That the future here isn't just about the tech itself, but making it accessible, affordable, and truly understanding what people need.
Absolutely. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As these robots start showing up more in our homes, our workplaces, How does our relationship with technology change? What becomes possible when these aren't just impressive machines, but like reliable tools, tools that actually make life easier, maybe safer, maybe improve well-being? Thinking about this shift from good but expensive to useful and affordable, what part of that resonates most with you? What feels like the biggest potential game changer?